Welcome back to the channel, guys. Another hot day here before the 4th of July. It's like Fire Drill Friday here on a Wednesday, trying to ship all these cars. Another one standing behind me, Jeremy's 2016 C7 Z06. He's from Dallas, Texas, which is only about a 4-hour drive from us. He is a car guy. I feel like he's me, a little bit older than me. Previous cars before children, he had a C5 Corvette with cam and headers and nitrous on it. He had an F body that's modified back 20 years ago. So it's been a while now. His kids are, a couple of them are out of the house or old enough. They're in high school and they're getting of the age. So he finally had to get another toy. So roughly, I think he said 8 months ago or a year ago, he bought this 2016 C7 Z06, roughly 30,000 miles on the odometer. First thing he did to it was just cold air and headers. And he's been enjoying that for, I think, a couple months now, and gave us a call and wanted that extra horsepower. He wanted to hear that cam sound and that chop at idle.
From horsepower gains to custom enhancement, we deliver results. Late model racecraft. We talking or we racing?
As always, guys, it's essentially our 800 horsepower package, just with the Corsa cold air on it, instead of the Rotofab that we usually use for all of our packages. And while we were there, again, he already has the nice stainless steel headers. So we take the car apart, the engine comes apart, we take the cylinder heads off to install the new lifters, to get rid of the DOD lifters, and of course our camshaft. While we do that, again, the car already had cold air and headers on it and the lid on it. It makes roughly 10 pounds of boost. Once we stick the camshaft in it, it makes the engine more efficient. We would lose roughly 2 pounds of boost. So besides the cam package, we also installed an ATI lower dampener with a larger ring to spin the supercharger a little bit harder. So when you first stab it, now it peaks like 12 pounds of boost and drops to a roughly 10. Like I explained to him, we don't spin the superchargers harder than some other people do because I want to keep the intake air temps under control, where in Texas weather, he can go on and beat on this thing and be nice and safe without having to worry about issues with it. So it went from 554 rear wheel horsepower to 650. It picked up exactly 100 rear wheel horsepower from putting the camshaft in it. And again, blower speed is a little bit more than stock, but still roughly 10 pounds of boost. So all in all, a solid gain from just our cam package. And now he has, which he loves, he just heard it, he actually just flew in town to drive it back to Dallas. So he is here now waiting on it, but he just heard it for the first time. Having that cam, having it lope at idle, and with 3 pedals in it, this is a manual, guys. It is now a perfect weekend toy for him. So I'm excited for him because he hasn't had a performance car in a while. I know how that feels. I understand having a family and kids and having to sacrifice stuff. So it's cool to see the grin on his face when he first heard this thing fire up. I just can't wait to give it back to him. So I'm gonna hop in it, I'm gonna go do some test driving, and then we'll give it back to him and let him drive this thing all the way back to Dallas. And so, as I told Jeremy, on pump gas right now, it's making the 655 rear wheel horsepower nice and safe. I told him to enjoy it, have fun. If he wants to come back for another horsepower, for more horsepower, we'll add a low side fuel system on it. We'll add a flex fuel sensor to it. We can give a P3 gauge. Then he can run pump gas or E85 and have a solid 50 rear wheel horsepower gain. So it will go from 650 to make right over 700 rear wheel horsepower just from changing fuels. broad 16 C7 Z06. It came to us already equipped with the Corsa cold air intake, long tube headers, high flow cats, and the supercharger lid. So we did our complete cam package, which is cam, springs, retainers, push rods, lifters, as well as, because we put the camshaft in it, it makes the engine more efficient. We also installed the ATI balancer with a little bit larger ring, spin the blowers a little bit harder. And y'all can see just from baseline 554, 605, but it was great gain. 654 we ended up with and 636. So 100 rear wheel horsepower gain, 30 rear wheel torque just from a cam package, and boost is pretty much the same. It's peaks 12, comes down to about 10 pounds of boost. Perfect weekend toy to play with. It sounds badass in 3 pedals. He'll have his handful.
About 150 more to the wheels than my highest before.
Does that sound much better now?
Oh yeah. I did the cam as much for sound for anything.
And that's what most people do.
I had a C5 with a big cam in it. It's like,
okay. So you've had it before then?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've had a couple nitrous cars, supercharged cars.
Okay, cool. So you're not new to this then?
No. This is the most power I've ever had, but
Gotcha.
the platform starts off so much higher than
it's, yeah.
So my oldest
incrementally.
is 19. I had an SS Camaro whenever he was born. And then
What year?
2001 hard top. I wish I would have kept that car hard top.
Man,
but in true fashion,
a while ago they were going for
I
good
sold
money
it
too.
and then thought like next year I'll buy something. 17 years, and I bought this car. I've had this car 8 months. I didn't have anything for 17 years.
Wow, the kids are...
Every year I was like, next year, my wife's always like, go buy it, go buy it. Like, you have the money, just go buy it. And for whatever reason, I never did. And then last year I was like, I'm going to buy a car.
Well,
I bought it here in Houston. I drove up to Houston one day and bought it.
You picked the right power plant.
One owner car.
It drives nice, dude. So did it already have cold air and headers on it?
I did all that.
Oh, you did it? Okay.
Yeah.
Up in Dallas?
Yeah.
Okay. Because, yeah, it's, I mean, you already had nice parts on it. We just added the
I thought I was just going to do exhaust and tuning. And then I was like, I got to go more.
I try to tell my customers that. Just always plan. They always say, I only want this. But I'm like,
yeah.
While we're there, just act like you're going to want more in the future. Because I can save you money now by spending an extra $1,000 in this area. So you won't spend $5,000 a year from now. There's different things we can do, right?
Yep.
And same with the cam. Like, you want the cam now for the sound, obviously the horsepower, but now it's also good because now we're spinning that mechanical fuel pump harder with the fuel load. So if you do want more like E85, now you're
gonna
have
to
capability.
fuel at that point too,
yes,
right?
but I mean, we could get away with doing it with just an external low side pump, but keep the mechanical fuel pump and injectors, because now with the cam in it, we're spinning that mechanical fuel pump 38% harder than stock.
Okay.
So we can run E85 in it right now. Like, so if you did want E85 to put in it, we'd have to limit you to probably 55, 60% or less. But we'll give you a gauge and just say, as long as it's less than that, you can floor it and it'll pick up 50 horsepower, you know?
Cars are so effortless compared to 20 years ago.
You see how it hooked? I mean, the traction control light was flashing the entire time.
Yeah,
in a
you
second,
can feel it.
But you stay in your lane and it's not horrible, you know? Back in the day, an old F-body, you'd be sketched out. You know what I mean? With traction.
Letting out.
Yes. How's it feel?
That feels great.
Pulling on it, feel good?
Yeah.
So obviously with the camshaft, the larger camshaft in it, as RPM climbs, it makes more power higher up in the RPM band. So I'm shifting it.
You can feel that.
Yeah, you'll feel it.
Pull the whole time.
Yes. So instead of it laying over like at 5,800, 6,000 from the factory, I'm shifting it right there. I go to about 6,500 grabbing gear, but get used to it and do what you want.
I like it.
Cool. That's all that matters. And again, it drives good. It drives like a stock car. If you want it, like I said, you want it quiet, you know what to do.
Yeah, can't even tell.
No.
I
You
keep
just-
I keep it open.
You still has a cam in it from that.
Yeah.
But besides that, you can't even hear it.
Since it's a weekend car, it just stays open and loud.
Yeah, buddy.
Right on.
Yeah, enjoy this for a little while. If you want more, we can do flex fuel or upgrade the blower. Put a 2650 on it. You know, these short blocks are good for 1,000 horsepower. I don't like pushing them more than like 900.
Yeah.
Is where I kind of keep them at, but people make over 1,000 with them. But 900 safely.
I can see myself doing flex fuel at some point.
It is just easy because you can drive just like you're driving right now with 93. But if you know it's a Saturday night, you might go out with some other cars to play with. You just put E85 in it, now you got 50 more horsepower.
Yeah.
And then for road trips, so E85 takes 30% more fuel to burn than pump gas, so it's cheaper, but your gas mileage sucks. So
Yeah.
it's good for racing, but then for road trips, then you put 93 back in it and cruise. Get the best of both worlds. It's hard to beat it. Like I said, for right now, all you need, the low side fuel system, the flex fuel sensor itself wired in, and then I'd recommend we do the P3 gauge that sits right here for the AC vent, just so you can see your ethanol content. And like I said, that's just from doing that, 50 rear wheel horsepower. Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Give it a like if you liked it so far. And please turn on bell notifications for future content, as we have cool stuff in the pipeline that you're going to want to see. And as always, please comment below.